Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Double Chest Show.
What up, guys?
You like my shirt?
Yeah, I think you stole that from a kid.
I did.
I think you saw a kid. You're like, "Hey kid, give me that shirt," and he's like, "No," and he's like, "Cause I'll go show you these guns."
I'm still crying because my eyes are still messed up from something. Believe it or not, this is an extra large.
Yeah, I know.
Because we bought it together.
I remember.
Yeah.
I think you mistakenly bought an extra large from the
No, that's the only shirt they had.
From the female department.
Remember, no. They said, I said, look, is this? They were like, yeah, this is for everybody.
Yep.
It's an extra large.
Yep.
And I'm like, you serious? They're like, yeah. And I really like the,
No, it's a cool T-shirt.
Union.
It just literally looks like the T-shirt is like hanging on for dear life.
It is.
And also, remember when you bought it, you didn't know if the neckline
Yeah,
was
I asked
too
him,
much.
I'm like, is this too...
It's fine.
Showing
I mean,
too much...
it's really big. You look like Bolo Yang when you wear that shirt.
Bolo Young.
Yang.
Young.
Y-A-N-G.
It's
Yang.
young.
Oh my god, dude.
You're so white.
Dude.
Bolo Young. It's not
Okay,
Yang.
fine. Bolo.
Young?
Bolo Yang. Bolo Yang.
My
For those of
God.
you who don't know what we're talking about, you weren't born in the 90s, but also like you just like your muscles are popping out of that shirt.
What can I do? Well, today we are going to continue our Q&A segment.
Yes.
So, this is always fun because we like to answer your questions that you might have for us.
Yes.
And we'll give you our best advice, best
try to.
we can.
Yep.
So, if you guys want to ask us a question, send us a message on Facebook or on YouTube. Never write the questions in the comments below. We won't give out any personal information about you, obviously. So, here we go.
All right.
You mentioned that you guys believe in saving yourself for marriage. We talked about that. If the girl you're pursuing or the girl you're interested in hasn't been before, would you mind that? Would guys be ready to look past that or accept their past? Okay, if you guys don't know what they're saying, it was because there was a question posed to us about somebody saying, "Oh, hey, I moved to New York."
And, right. Saving themselves for marriage.
I want to save myself for marriage, but this climate feels like nobody is doing that and nobody wants to accept that.
And they asked us if we feel like there were people out there that can accept that.
So we told everybody that we're saving ourselves for marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We're in our 30s, but we're still saving ourselves for marriage because we feel like that's that's something intimate that we want to share with whoever we marry. Right. So don't feel like you're alone if you feel the same way. Obviously.
Definitely.
And this person is basically asking, well, what if the girl wasn't, or for us anyway, what if the girl wasn't like that?
Would we have a problem with that?
No, I don't think we would.
I wouldn't have it.
We both dated people who, didn't share that point of view with us.
That's right.
Obviously, when they dated us, that they had to accept that's who we are.
Right.
But no, we don't have a problem with that because it's in the past. It's in the past.
Right.
It's about whoever you are. Obviously, that's most important.
We're not like, just because we're doing it,
too.
You have to do it. Like, no, come on. And also, I think she might be asking, or he or she, like, there are probably dudes out there that do care, probably men or women. If they are saving themselves, they probably want the other person to as well, and that's fine too. It's just personal preference.
There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah, but the thing is, don't let them change who you are and what you believe in.
All right, so moving on to the next question.
Okay. So this guy from the UK is asking basically, why is it that in America, he's basically asking from an American point of view, where he feels like, for example, American girls and guys too, when you ask them, hey, where are you from? They say, well, I'm American, or sometimes they'll say I'm Asian American, and he says basically, why can't a Caucasian family or non-Asian family,
like I'm white Chinese. I'm American Chinese.
Or just say Chinese. Like, why can't they move to Asia?
UK Chinese.
Yeah, or I'm Korean.
Yeah.
So he's given an example, like, what if a white family moves to Asia and basically, settles down there for maybe their line of work.
Sure.
Maybe they're on an army base.
Yeah. That's what America is known for.
Right.
It's being a melting pot of everything.
Right.
So they, everybody's immigrants. There's no well, there are native people here, but people who are here mainly are not native.
Right.
So everyone is in the same boat.
Right.
So if you take let's say do people say Chinese British, Chinese UK? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So yeah, like if you're Chinese and you're in the UK,
can you say Chinese Australian?
We don't know. We should ask our UK friends.
I do know you can say Chinese Canadian.
Okay.
I think.
All right, but I don't know if
But Canada's in the same boat as the U.S. Nobody is very much indigenous to that country.
Right. Okay, so basically, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another angle. In America, like you've only had about 300 years of history,
Yeah.
and like you said, the history is people who weren't American came to America
Right.
and took over the country.
Right.
And now it's a land of immigrants,
Right.
and also people who originally took over the country, which technically are immigrants. But think about this: you go to China. China has 5,000 years of history.
Right.
So I'm not saying that you can't call yourself Chinese, but I do see when people would have a problem with that because they're like, okay, come on, like we're Chinese, we've been here for 5,000 years. If you're in America, you could be white, black, Hispanic, Asian, and you can be American. So to me, it's a pretty simple thing. Now I do see maybe he's asking the question like, well, like what if like I want to call myself Chinese?
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
I don't think you.
No,
I
maybe
don't really think he could.
you could if you wanted to,
But he
but
did
you're
say
gonna
that.
get
Like he did ask that. Well, what if I had a person I married someone who was
Right.
Chinese and then had a kid? They
Right.
would never be considered Chinese. Actually, they would be if they looked Chinese. I think.
if they were half and half and
I
they
think they
look
could be
kind of
accepted Chinese.
Yeah.
I think right now there's also a perception issue in China
Right.
where there's not a lot of foreigners in China.
Right.
There is there's a lot, but there's not a lot compared to the amount of Chinese.
No.
So that's why like a lot of times when you go to China, people are gonna swarm up to you and
Right.
be like, "Hey, let me take a picture with you." It's still kind of new.
Right.
So that concept of there's other people who want to live here.
Right.
It's not a something that's been around for a long time.
Right.
So I think that's where a lot of issues lie as well. If there's like, let's say one day half the people in China are like foreigners,
Right.
then you know what? Then maybe that's changing.
Exactly, because here's the thing: when you go to I think I might have answered the question we had. When let's say you go to like Italy, right? There aren't enough immigrants going to Italy where people are like, let's say you're Chinese and they're like, I'm Italian. They probably wouldn't do that. They just be like, I'm Chinese.
Yeah.
But in America, it's the culture to assimilate to American culture.
Right.
But it's not anywhere else. Like, can you think of another?
Canada.
Okay, yeah.
I think Australia too, because these are all lands where
Yeah, okay.
they don't have
okay.
a long history. It's
Right.
a bunch of immigrants.
Right. Maybe they're offended by the fact that they
Yeah.
can't call themselves, but I would say, like, it's maybe not that big of a deal. It's not
The
personal.
way it is right now.
It's kind of the way it is.
First things first, you guys are awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
So, I'm Chinese, born in Germany. It's really hard to keep up with the Asian medias, especially because there aren't many who share this interest. So, I want to ask which platforms or websites were the best to do that. So, I guess they're asking about Chinese movies, TV shows, things like that.
TV shows, music, movies, etc. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of sites.
There's a lot of sites.
Pirated sites because that's where
Yeah.
a lot of things happen in China. You can watch a lot of Chinese movies and TV shows. Like couple ones I like is Sina. That's
Okay.
a good platform for TV.
Well, you
movies.
watch. Okay, so like I don't listen to.
YouTube actually does as well.
Right. Like I don't listen to Chinese music.
I do all that.
But wait, here's the thing. I don't listen to anything modern because I don't like it. But you listen to modern and the
Yeah.
more.
I do both.
Like old school songs, like 80s and 90s.
For music, Spotify is good.
Yeah.
For TV shows, I think most TV
Right.
series, Asian TV series, are on YouTube. Actually, the ones
Yeah,
I watch, anyway,
definitely,
they're on
definitely.
YouTube. Especially the
Definitely.
Chinese ones, they're on YouTube.
I mean, if you're talking about like I mean, there's like Drama Fever, for example. Like you could watch like pretty much everything that's Asian dramas. If you're talking about getting access to stuff other than pop culture, I would really be careful because a lot of the websites out there is especially the Chinese ones. They're basically ran by the Chinese Communist government, so the information you get is not accurate.
Yeah,
and it's
I
biased.
mean, for
so.
Entertainment is one thing. For
Right.
actual information,
Is
that's
another
a whole
thing.
separate
Definitely.
story.
I'm not the biggest fan of Asian pop culture today.
Right.
I'm just not a big fan.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's just they take whatever's in the West that they think is popular, and a lot of those things I don't like at all anyways
Sure.
because it's gratuitous. And then they popularize it. It's almost like taking something bad and then popularizing it in that culture. So to me, I don't actually keep up with the modern, a lot of modern things. Said that, I still, like you, I like a lot of anime. I like a lot of the older movies and a lot of the older music as well. So.
I like everything.
But you don't like the modern stuff as much, right?
I like the I like the TV shows. I'm a big fan of wuxia, which is like Chinese
Right.
old style martial arts stuff.
But you don't like the newer wuxia movies that come out.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, like some of them are really cheesy. Like the
I love cheese.
Okay,
I live in cheese.
Like
I
watch,
bathe in cheese. I'm a cheese volcano.
I can understand when
I'm cheesy. You don't know I'm cheesy? Come on, you should know I'm cheesy.
No, but like the new ones.
Yeah, I love all stuff. All right, so this person is saying that in Asian cultures, we don't talk a lot about mental illnesses.
Right.
And this person suffers from a mental illness. We don't know which one specifically.
Right.
But she's saying that her father, I think it's a she, doesn't support her and saying that she kind of made it up.
Right,
because to cover up for her failing grades.
Right.
But she said she didn't have any failing grades.
Right.
So basically, it's someone going through a real situation that the parents are not really understanding. They're kind of saying, like, you're just making excuses.
Right. I'm glad they brought this question up because I could totally see that. Because in the Western culture, having grown up here, I remember like all the kids around me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like literally from grades 1 to when I was at the end of high school, I'm always one of the only few Asian kids in school, right? And so I remember all the other non-Asian kids, they would have all these things like ADD,
Yeah.
yeah, ADHD,
ADHD.
depression. This one was really big. Bipolar disorder. Okay, and in America, these are really serious things. These are huge, and they're happening to kids more and more, and they all take medication.
Right.
And in fact, the parents, they're very supportive,
Yes.
but they're also very proactive to get the kids diagnosed
Yes.
and to get them treated. Now, we know in Chinese culture, ADHD, there ain't no thing as these mental disorders because the parents will be like,
because in the U.S., parents will actually look for the reason. Let's say if your kid isn't reading well,
correct,
or has math problem, they'd be like
dyslexia. That's
yeah,
one, right?
maybe there's
Right.
some medical condition causing it.
Absolutely.
In China,
Absolutely.
you just be lazy or dumb.
Right. Yeah, like you said it. They'll be like, why are you dumb?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, write yourself.
And they're like, and they're shamed, right? They're shamed too.
Definitely.
They're like, okay, well, this is something that it's almost like they don't want you to have anything because they can't explain it.
They can't explain it.
Maybe other parents who might be like, oh, okay, well, my kid's doing all great. What about your kid? Well, my kid has a condition.
Right.
And then the other parents be like, you're just making that up.
Right. And they might also use other forms of discipline, and a lot of those forms are not, like the best kind of forms.
Well, beat you with a yardstick is probably not going to help your math.
I didn't want to say it, but basically, you're right.
Right.
Like, they might beat it out of you. Or let's say they don't use physical force, but a lot of I don't want to just say Asian parents, but parents can be really good at using mental trauma to get it out of you.
Well, this person is also saying he's being very, verbally abusive.
Verbally abusive.
And luckily this person who wrote in seems to have a good head on her shoulders.
Right.
And she's saying she still appreciates what he's done and all that. But you know what? I think it's good to educate your parents about these things. Send them some literature.
Right.
Because they might not believe you, but they do believe in science, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So maybe send them some literature about these conditions and, just keep doing it slowly, work on them. Sometimes, it does seem like a lost cause because that's what she's saying. Like, he understands her condition is the day pigs fly. That's what she wrote.
What do you do in that case?
Well, look, the only thing you can do is try and communicate this as best as you can.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about Asian parents here. Like,
Right.
we answered questions in the past where, sometimes Asian parents are just that stubborn.
They're just that stubborn.
But, dealing with this head on, like, like aggressively never helps.
So what would you suggest to them? Like, because we talked about this before. Like, let's say they go off to college.
Yeah.
Now
Here's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Asian parents listen to, again, professionals. They'll listen to doctors. Maybe go treat yourself. Your treatment is in process. Somebody must have diagnosed you. Have the doctor talk to your parents. Have somebody else talk to your parents. In my experience, that works a lot better than you trying to explain this to. Coming off as a possible excuse. Right,
because in America, like in a lot of the schools, they have a guidance counselor.
Yeah.
They have a personal, sometimes even a psychiatrist at school. In college, you could literally go see a psychiatrist.
Yep. Moving on. I met this Chinese guy from Wenzhou. He's 19. He's all by himself. When we met, I called him cute. He got embarrassed. I'd never been in a relationship before. I think I like this guy. have no idea if he likes me or not. He shares a lot of random things with me. He even agrees to be my prom date, even though we live about an hour and a half apart. Any advice? Okay, well, this is kind of like every time we have a Q&A, we have to give this advice.
Yep. Because
So-
some of them
Never seen it.
have never found us.
Right.
And this is the first time.
Yeah, and we understand. So
Yeah.
our advice is, look, Asians, especially Chinese, they're shy.
Yeah.
Super shy. Super duper shy. And, the only thing you can do is to just be aggressive and tell them.
Exactly.
Show them whatever it is.
Exactly.
Let them know that you are interested.
Yeah.
Lay it out on the table.
Yeah.
If you're expecting him to make the first move, it might take years, literally.
Literally years. And also, it doesn't end there. Let's say you do get into a relationship and you still might run into these roadblocks
Yeah.
where they're not showing you enough emotion. You feel like you're not communicating. So best advice is open the lines of communication and just like, you got it. This is like a door that you got to break down.
So this person says, been following your videos for a while. This is my first time messaging you.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
I've been bothered by a lack of confidence when I'm with people who I have a crush on. I'm from China, now university in Canada.
Okay.
Less than 2 years, still practicing English. Promise English is good. Can't make jokes or speak that smoothly. I suffer the same thing through Mandarin. So whenever I'm with a guy, I might find attractive.
Oh, this is a woman.
Me. Yeah, it's a woman.
Oh, okay.
I feel super nervous because I just can't always make funny jokes or sometimes fail to understand him. I feel ashamed and defeated. So to prevent that from happening, I just stay silent and talk as little as possible, which makes the guy think I must have no interest in him. Okay. Basically, she's saying that she lacks a lot of confidence.
Okay, she feels relaxed with other English-speaking friends, but when it comes to her and a possible
love interest.
That's what happens.
Right.
Stop thinking that you're gonna scare him away and he's not gonna like you. Because I'm telling you right now, as a dude, as a guy, I'm just so happy that you even agreed to go on a date with me. Come on, right?
It's true. It's true. It's true.
So I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't have like a clipboard like didn't make enough jokes. Like, are you kidding me?
Can I also say that the guy, like when I'm on a date,
Yeah.
I'm never expecting the girl to be cracking jokes all night long.
Right.
So
That's
you're
like a
okay.
plus.
You know what you can do to definitely show you're interested and also be a good date? You can just laugh at his jokes a lot. You can, smile when he says something interesting. Show engagement that way.
Right.
The guy will feel great.
But also like, here's the thing. Okay, you put an emphasis. I put an emphasis on this too. People always want to be funny.
Yes.
Right. But that's not the end all be all.
Yes.
So what? You can't crack a joke. Hey, maybe you can show interest by asking him questions about himself. Whatever happened to good, awesome conversation?
Be a good listener.
I mean, you can do that, right? So here's the thing, like, 'cause I know so many of these girls, they just freeze up because they get really self-conscious. And I'm telling you right now, you're already on the date with this guy. Trust me, would you agree with this? He's more self-conscious about himself in this situation than she is.
The guy is always gonna be. I used to do this.
Okay.
It's kind of crazy when I was younger.
Okay.
Because I would be afraid to run out of things to talk about on dates.
Okay.
And I would
I've
actually
been there.
prep a list in my head
my
of things I could talk about.
I didn't do
Guys
that.
are struggling with this way
Yeah.
more than you are.
Yeah.
The girl, honestly, be a good listener.
Right.
Communicate as much as you can.
Right.
If you're, in that situation. And
So this is what might happen though,
Yeah.
right? So he's doing all the talking, and he literally runs out of stuff,
things to say.
and then it's awkward because she's not responding.
Well, okay. So the guy's basically gonna be asking her questions.
Right.
Obviously, you don't need to respond with jokes. You just respond with whatever
Right.
you're responding with. You can also tell him that, look, my English ability to some degree is limited.
Right.
And that's just the way it is.
Right.
He'll understand that.
Right.
And look, if you guys like each other, come on. I've even seen like cases where
people-
Americans just go to China, marries a girl who speaks 2 words of language. We have friends that right now that they marry people who can't speak English at all.
I don't even know how they communicate. For
He
real.
speaks Chinese.
Yeah.
Tell him to learn some Chinese, and
That-
he might do it.
exactly.
He likes you enough. So don't worry about it. You're thinking you're putting way too much pressure on yourself in this
Exactly.
situation. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Next question. So I have somewhat of a long question. What if you know that there is a potential serious relationship waiting for you, in my case, back in my hometown? However, your reaction is to run or rather avoid this person. The feelings are too intense rather than non-existent. What would you recommend to do in such a situation? Follow your instinct, flee in order to survive before anything ever happens, or try to fight your instinct and go back and meet this person. This might seem like a no-brainer, but generally speaking, my instinct rarely lets me down. Isn't there a reason? Isn't it there for a reason? Well, you have to ask yourself this. Are you running because you're
Right.
a fear of relationships?
Right.
In that case, I would say you should try to conquer that.
Right.
And get into, not be afraid of relationships. Or two, is your instinct telling you to run because this guy is just some troublemaker who's gonna, this is not a good, this is not,
Right.
deep down, this is not a good man.
Right.
That's my question for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to answer this question completely because I'm not quite sure what is the reason that they're running, right? I mean, honestly, when I was reading it, like, this isn't to be offensive, but I just imagined an anime where, like, it's just too intense. Like, they don't know what to do about it. It's not even like they're afraid of a commitment. They're just like, oh my God, there's too many feelings. Like, to me, it's like, I don't want to use the word childish, but maybe because this is something new for them.
Well, look, we have friends like this.
Right.
Who's never been on a date before.
Right.
And they're kind of afraid of the whole situation. And,
Yeah.
and we talked to her before, and she also said, it's because of her upbringing. Her parents are very strict
Right.
about that. So she has no idea what to feel or
Right.
what to do in those circumstances. For me, I would say, unless there's seriously issue with this guy, maybe some of your friends are going to you and be like, hey, I don't really think you should be with him because there's some problems there. And then that's when your instincts are kind of like, okay, well, I don't really know because this
Right.
might be a bad thing for me. If that's the case, yeah, think about it.
Right.
Don't just start jump into that. If your only concern is that, he's a really good guy, he's
Right.
perfect, I'm the problem. I'm the problem because I have all these issues.
Right.
Then I think you should face it because you're gonna have to face it sooner or later.
And if it's like your first relationship and it's very intense and you don't know what to do, I would say take it slow.
Take it slow.
Take it slow.
Don't ever feel pressure, and this is regardless of if you're in this situation or
Right.
not. Don't ever feel pressure to do anything you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Because a relationship is mutual. It's never about his timeline or your timeline. It's a
Exactly.
mutual thing
Exactly.
that each party needs to respect.
Exactly. So if he doesn't respect it, then that's his problem.
not the right guy for you.
Exactly. So
All right, next. What do you guys like about pickup artists and dating coaches? These seem like such a scam. I've seen a lot of videos, and their advice seems like just common sense. Their advice is you need to be more aware and mindful of others, words, and body language. I'm an introvert and not a very social guy. I'm not the life of the party. I've always been told, go do something you love. When people see you happy and enjoying yourself, you will attract like-minded people. Make sense?
this is the first time we got asked this, and actually this is a very intense topic for me because I have friends who have gone through these date pickup coaches.
Really?
Yes, I actually know a lot about this
Okay.
realm.
What do you think?
Well, personally, when they were doing this, I knew I have multiple friends who did different, I guess, schools. And I even read some of the stuff because I'm like, I want to see, like, is this a scam? Are they teaching guys how to be players? Or is this for real? Is it like Hitch?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you need to come out of your shell a little
Yeah.
bit. I can tell you this is not like Hitch. It's not, Mike, you need to come out of your shell. For whatever reason, you feel like you need to do this to prove something to yourself, to others, and I'm not down with that.
Right.
Now, if you are someone like what I hope, like with this guy, is you just want to come out of your shell a little bit. Honestly, I would not suggest to go that route. I really wouldn't.
Whenever I hear these terms, pickup
Artists.
it has a negative connotations in
Absolutely.
my head, and I don't like it. And I
Yeah.
feel like whoever you are, don't be trying to be someone different. That's what I never understood about Hitch, right?
Right,
Okay.
okay.
All right. So you got onto the first date, you got onto the third date, whatever. But then what about the rest of your life? Like,
Right.
Hitch is trying to tell you to do something you're not comfortable with. But how does that translate to the rest of your life?
It doesn't. But and dude, one thing you said that was really important. Okay, dating is one thing. Like being in a relationship, like you can't learn that from any of this stuff. This just tells you how to pick up women. Why do you need to pick up women? All you need is to get that one girl.
Yeah.
that you can spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
And how do you become more confident? Well, we made other videos that talk about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to be confident.
More confident.
So,
and I used to be super shy myself. So no, I'm not. Now I'm wearing like a Muonyan t-shirt.
Yep.
And it's really low cut, so I have to be like crazy confident to try to wear this, right? Because
well, you do have more. You do have muscles, but I don't have muscles, and I'm very confident.
Pink.
I'm wearing pink.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for this video. We still got a lot of questions we haven't gotten to yet because you guys are sending us questions like crazy.
Those are really good questions,
and we really appreciate it. So keep sending your questions. As long as you send it, we'll get to it eventually because every video we kind of go in depth about all the questions. So, you know, maybe we'll try to do this more often, and that way we can touch upon all the questions. Maybe you know, in
maybe
less amount of time.
Throw it up on a podcast.
Yeah,
maybe.
So maybe go do it live on Periscope.
Do it live.
We're doing it live.
Doing it live.
All right, guys. Anyway, again, questions, send it to message us on YouTube, message us on Facebook. Don't comment, else we won't see it.
Right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Peace. See you later.